Hey guys, it's 11:30. I'm on with Jeff Jacobson. We're answering more questions related to unemployment and how to file it. The circumstances going on in Illinois right now. It looks like we've got a couple of people who actually jumped on real quick. So let's get right to it. I'm going to punch up Jeff. And Jeff, tell us about some of the developments going on.
Benefits, so either they were denied because they've run out, or they're an independent contractor or sole proprietor, or they've added the term a gig worker. And it seems to be going well so far. I don't know how many people have gotten up and are filing, but probably around 9 o'clock it was working fine. I'm not sure what time they switched over to it.
All right, Jeff. So I'm going through some of these questions right now. If you could just talk some more in general about some of the stuff that people need to look out for with
Sure.
the gig working, that would help out.
So a couple things. One is the state now, as of last Thursday, wanted people to file for regular unemployment and get denied. Have to do it April 1st is the date that you have to do it by, or I'm sorry, after. So they want you to do that. They ask you to certify for independent contractors, for those that are sole proprietors. I don't know how you're going to answer the questions. I don't know how you're going to apply, because it all talks about wages and stuff. But do the best you can. Everything's backdated. I don't know where this rule came from. So here's some of the things you'll need to file for unemployment benefits. You'll need your Social Security number, valid driver's license number. If you're not a citizen of the United States, your alien registration number, your residential address, your mailing address, your telephone number, your birth date, your employment history for the past 18 months, which will include the names of all your employers' addresses, employer telephone numbers, reasons you stopped working for your employer, employment start and end dates, and your 2019 tax return if you have one. You have 21 days after you file to get any necessary documents to the state of Illinois. They want some identification information also. So, for example, your driver's license, Social Security card, passport, you'll need to send that to them to validate it. If you are an independent contractor or 1099, a lot of the information, like employer information, won't be relevant, so don't panic. It's about 24 pages. I estimated it's about 30 minutes or less to fill it all out. Once again, it's basic information. It's just how well you type. So that's basically what you need for that. And then, another interesting event. So now this is more money the state has to pay out. And there was some information. There's 6 states that may run out of money, Illinois being one of them. But, because people have asked about this, it's not necessary that you panic about that or rush in, because they can just loan money for the federal government. Okay. So there's...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Raza.
Looks like we got a couple of questions on. Julie, I'm going to punch you up right now if you want to ask your question. Julie, are you with us?
Yep. Yes, I am. I'm almost done typing here.
Sure. Yeah, feel free to. You can also ask your question right in this format, because you got Jeff Jacobson on right now with you.
Okay.
Hi, Julie.
Hi. Hi, Jeff. I have a problem with when I went in this morning to apply for the pandemic assistance.
Okay.
It didn't recognize the fact that I was denied from the state. It said that it showed that I was still eligible. However, I was denied by the state. So I'm not sure how to bridge the gap between state and the federal. Does that make sense?
Sure. So did you go through the pandemic way to log on? It's a different part of the system. It's I think it's a little confusing to find it, but did you go through that process yet?
I did. And that's where
Okay.
that's where I got the denial. And it said that I was still considered eligible through the state and that I needed to pursue that route. However, I did already, a week ago or 2 weeks ago. And I even had gotten as far as to have an interview phone call with somebody.
Oh.
And she did,
Okay.
she said, you're denied. Well, because I'm a 1099 worker. So, so she said, no, you're denied.
The question asks you if you've been denied and to certify. So I ran through a test this morning.
Okay.
And I didn't file for the regular, and it just asked me whether I was certified and denied, and I said yes, and it just proceeded to ask the questions then. So I'm not sure that it does the checking. I'm looking here.
Okay. So she did tell me through the state, when I did have that phone interview, she did tell me to attempt to certify, which I did last week.
She told you to certify even though she said you were denied?
Yes. I didn't understand that.
Right. So, and you're a 1099 worker?
Yeah.
Okay. I would go on and hold on. I would go on and file again under the PUA. So her saying you're denied doesn't put it in the system right away.
That's right. That's correct. It's not showing in the system that I'm denied, and that's the issue.
Right. So when you went to IDS, you went to the right file for pandemic unemployment assistance?
I sure did.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. You're going to have to get them. So let's see. File claim. I'm just going through it again. It just started up this morning.
Okay.
And did you do new claimant?
So I did not. I did with my current claim. I went that route. Is that something I should attempt to do, is start again?
I would try with the apply for as a new claimant.
Okay.
Yes, because it's already asked you whether you've applied. So I would give that the shot. Otherwise, you need to call them because they need to change the flag to you've been denied.
Right.
And just so you know, the federal law doesn't require that you file for unemployment be denied. As a 1099, you're automatically eligible. So I don't know why they're doing this.
Yeah, and that's another question. Is there some other way around having to go through the state and just go directly to the federal?
No.
Okay.
So the unemployment benefits and all that are handled by each state. So the federal government, the federal government pays for unemployment, a percentage of it, and it's also created by the Federal Social Security Act. That's where unemployment first started. So it's a federal law. Okay. It's some of it's funded. This part is completely funded, but it's administrated by each state, which is why some states are slower than others.
Okay, so then I will pretty much just start from scratch. That's the route.
See what happens. If not, you're going to see if you can get a hold of someone that's going to change your flag to denied.
Do you have a secret number?
No, and don't. And so this is a good question. Do not pay for anyone to assist you with unemployment unless it's an attorney. There is no secret. There's no fast pass.
I didn't hear of any. I just thought I would ask.
Right. No, it's yeah. I mean, I still have people I know there, but it's
Yeah.
they're a little farther up than the changing a flag. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate the help. It gives me at least some direction.
Thank you,
Okay.
Julie, for your
Good
call.
luck.
Thank you.
And Jeff, it actually looks like we've got quite a few people who are calling in, and we got some questions coming up at a fast pace in the comments. Shane, is this from Michigan? Generally speaking, this is for Illinois. This is part of the Illinois and Indiana Unemployment Guidance Group. However, there's some, what were you saying, Jeff? There's some similarities in like the federal law that some general things may apply?
Right, and actually I'm looking up to see if Michigan has their system set up yet. It looks like they do. So you can file for PUA in Michigan. And I think, what was the question?
Question has not come in yet from her, but do feel free to ask. We will get to that quite quickly. We also have Kathy, who's been waiting on the line, so we will see if we can punch her up. And we just kind of got into this really quick, but just if you're watching this for the first time, I'm Raza Siddiqui. This is Jeff Jacobson. This is a daily segment that we are doing where we're getting some information out about unemployment. So anything we can do about answering questions, helping along with the process, we're happy to do so. We're going to effort to do this at 11:30 every day. Kathy, if you're with us, I'm going to punch you up here so you can ask your question. Are you with us?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, we sure can. Yeah, if you just want to go ahead, we got Jeff on with you.
Great. So I have 2 gig jobs. One is a 1099 and the other is on a W-2. I'm an events manager, so they're for trade shows. So when I go into the Illinois unemployment system, it pulls up the W-2 it pulls up the employer on my W-2 job. But I didn't want to file against that because I haven't really worked for them, because that gig is only a couple months long. And I only worked for them on that one from December through February when they canceled the show. So do I have to file on that W-2 and then go into the PUA system? I'm really confused on what I need to do, because my the 10 gig is full time. Sorry.
So, it's an interesting question. My interpretation of law is, if you're eligible for unemployment benefits, you have to file. So on the W-2, you would file with the IDS, and then on your gig job, you would file as a PUA. So you would get both of them. The thing is, the W-2 may pay you more benefits than the PUA.
Yeah, but I haven't been paid on that W-2 since like February, and it was like real minimal. I was just doing a few hours a week. And so it's,
so you're done with the W-2?
For now, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it'd be just on your gig job then.
Okay, so then I don't have to go through the W-2 process. I just go straight to PUA.
Right. That would be, embellish a little, but let's say the last time you worked as a W-2 was 10 years ago. It wouldn't be an issue. Your severance from that wouldn't be relevant to the COVID-19, right?
Got it. Right. Because my 1099 was done from COVID.
Right. So it would be the 1099. And it may be you've taken the gig job, the 1099, and that's why you're no longer working at the W-2. But yeah, so it's just the 1099.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so very much. You're so helpful.
You're welcome. You have a nice day.
You too.
All right.
So Deanna Franks, she asked a question. She answered wrong on the PUA certification. Can it be changed? It can be, but you'll have to call in and contact them. You can't, as long as you've submitted that you've certified that it's accurate, it's now in the system. So hopefully that answers. And that's, one thing we've been bringing up. If you make an error, You can't go back. But on the PUA, go all the way to the end. Then it allows you to review everything you've done. You'll click review. It'll bring you back to that section, make changes, do whatever you need. And then when everything looks good, you'll click the file at the bottom.
All right.
So-
Looks like we have a couple more questions coming in. And just a reminder, if your question has been answered, please close the browser to disconnect so that we can get some more callers on. It looks like we have Christine next. Give me a thumbs up, Christine, if you're ready. Okay, you are ready. I'm going to punch you up so you can get your question answered with Jeff Jacobson. Hi, thanks for joining us.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
I filed my claim the first week that I got laid off due to COVID, which was March 19th. It was accepted. I've been certifying and everything. I got a letter in the mail on April 15th saying I had a phone interview on April 10th at 12 o'clock. And the envelope was postmarked the 13th. So I did not get any notice that I had a phone interview. It said to continue certifying. So I did. And then like a week or two later, I got a letter saying that I have been denied because I didn't do my phone interview. So I printed out the appeal, I faxed it and mailed it. Is there anything else I can do? I mean, I haven't gotten anything.
It's much simpler than that. So if you missed your phone interview, I would call the 800 number that's scrolling along the bottom.
Mm-hmm. I've been trying.
Talk to a representative. So what's happened is there's some information to indicate you're not eligible for unemployment benefits, and that may be because the employer protested or you didn't answer the questions appropriately. Let's start out. You're a W-2 wage earner?
Yeah, I did start a new job the end of January, and then I was laid off March 17th. Is it possible that because they didn't file like their unemployment taxes, that it wouldn't be showing up under them? It'd be showing up under the job that I left. You know what I mean?
No, so it's the last job you worked for, which would be the one that closed down because of COVID-19.
Okay.
Your wage is the base period, your base year. It goes back 5 quarters ago. So it's 5 quarters ago, 4 quarters ago, 3 quarters ago, 2 quarters ago, not the last quarter. So if you didn't work during that base period or didn't earn enough, you wouldn't be eligible to unemployment benefits. But that's all computerized. They have that information. They would be able to figure that out instantly. So, I don't know if the employer protested. Are you getting payroll?
We got a letter and everything saying, that we were laid off, and they told us to file unemployment immediately. They're not protesting. They didn't protest it.
And I know it's hard. And unfortunately, now what's happened is because the PUA started today, they're going to get inundated with a lot more calls. But so you did an okay thing. The appeal process is a hearing. There's a transcript. There's all sorts of rules and stuff. It's a little more difficult. I would try to see if you can get through before you get your hearing notice.
Okay.
Because they'll be able to fix that.
Okay.
And your
keep
certification. Yeah, your certification stopped, right?
It did, and then I filed another claim starting May.
Yeah, you can't file another claim.
Okay.
So, yeah, you just scramble to try to figure out what to do.
Okay.
Completely understand that. But so you should get a notice when your appeal hearing will be.
Okay.
It'll be, and it's like a little trial, a mini trial.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good luck.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
So it looks like we got a couple more questions coming in. I'm going to get to David in a second. And we were talking, Shin, if you have a question, if you're still on with us, make sure to ask and we'll get that to Jeff as well. David, are you with us? Can you hear us? We may have lost David. Let's see, because we got a couple other callers. Let's see. Joe, are you with us? This is Raza Siddiqui, Jeff Jacobson. And looks like we may have lost Joe too. But it does seem like, again, we've discussed how there's some questions that keep coming up, kind of very similar questions. And you're always if you go to the Illinois and Indiana Unemployment Guidance Group, we've set up a little platform there, a little forum where people are answering their own questions. You can see it there. We're also going through that forum to answer some of the questions that Jeff will be addressing today. Jeff, is there anything in particular you've heard from people that you think is important to get out there? I know we were talking about probably the process is going to start getting inundated pretty soon. Have you seen or heard of that? And anything else you'd like to share?
So no, and actually I'm going to backtrack too, Raza. So I'm Jeff Jacobson. I've been practicing law for about 30 years. I used to be an administrative law judge with the appeals division for the Illinois Department of Employment Security. And this is one of the areas I practice in among, we have a general practice. So I haven't heard, as to your question, anything yet about the pandemic. One, and that's pretty much because it started this morning. I'm not sure when they switched over, and it looks like the hardware and software, from what I've seen and you talk to a few people, is working smoothly. Some of the questions are a little difficult, but other than that, it looks like the portal's working. I anticipate we're going to hear a lot of people that can't get through. They're calling in because they've done something wrong. The typical thing is they've answered wrong and they click submit, and now the document's certified. So in general, if on the website or when you do a teleserve by phone to certify and you make an error, you have to log off, hang up, you can't keep going ahead. On the PUA, there is the option at the end to make modifications, but on all the other systems, there isn't. So do not click submit, file, any of those complete unless you're sure the information is accurate.
Jaylee just a minute ago asked a question. She's getting a screen when she's on the IDS site that says, "You cannot certify at this time. Please contact the Illinois Department of Employment Security directly." She doesn't understand why that could be the case. She certified last Monday and says that, "I thought this was something we're supposed to do every week." Could this, do you think, be a process of just the overwhelming of the site, or have you heard anything along these lines, Jeff?
So if it's Illinois, it's not every week, it's every other week. So if she's certified a week ago, it won't be for another 2 weeks. And then once she, so it's every 2 weeks. If you miss that date, you have Thursday and Friday to certify. If you miss those, then, your unemployment's going to terminate. So you need to certify every couple weeks if you want to continue with benefits.
Okay. Joy asks, maybe this question has already been answered, but again, we're happy to answer questions just to get the information out there on a daily basis. She says she had 2 jobs that I lost due to COVID-19. One was part-time at the YMCA. The other was self-employed hairstylist. I filed for unemployment in March and got it for the YMCA, but not for my self-employment job. How do I file for that now? When I try, it tells me that I already have a case. When I try to call, it always busy and I can't get through to anyone.
Right. So the PUA is for those that normally can't get unemployment benefits. And because you're getting unemployment benefits already, you're not entitled to the PUA. The 1099 are not considered wages. There's not an employer for that. So those aren't reported. But you would be receiving substantially more under the normal unemployment and the federal supplement than you would under the PUA. So that's why you're not entitled to it. As long as you're receiving benefits from the state, they supplement that with the $600 federal, and therefore you're not entitled to the additional federal for those that are not entitled. You're already getting more than a 1099 would receive.
All right. Looks like we potentially have David back, but again, we never know until we try. So let's give it a shot.
When it flashes off, I see someone that looks like in a suit and a desk.
Let's see. Yeah, that's the background.
Oh, that's me.
That's you. That's you. Let's see here. We got a couple other questions on the group. And again, the group that you can ask these questions to if you don't want to comment directly live is the Illinois and Indiana Unemployment Guidance Group. And let's see, we have one here.
And then while you're doing that, so we will be here 11:30 every day this week, because I know these questions or problems are going to start boiling over with the current system.
Oh, absolutely. Tina asks, I'm a small business owner. I filed for unemployment insurance in order to get rejected as Illinois site instructs us to. So then later I qualify for the PUA. So my UI findings stated I did not qualify for unemployment benefits because I did not earn enough money outside of my highest earning quarter. So the field for the UI monetary determinations are all 0. Yet the UI findings still listed a certification date and day. I made sure my direct deposit was updated and correct. So just to cross the T's and I's as expected. And then here's the kicker. Yet today when I went to file for the PUA, I got this pop-up. We have found at least one of the following in our system for you. You already have a regular unemployment insurance claim. This is kind of long, so bear with me, Jeff. Unemployment claim and still has benefits available for your use. You'll need to request an unemployment insurance payment under that claim instead of filing for pandemic unemployment insurance. So she's confused. What unemployment benefits do I have to still use if I didn't qualify per my unemployment insurance finding letter and my UI monetary determination fields all have 0 in them?
So I don't know what happened. You should have been denied benefits because you were 1099. You shouldn't have been receiving any benefits. So I'm not sure what you used as your last date for working. If you use that, and it's an employer. But I would contact the state because they have the wrong information. You should have been denied benefits. You should have been denied unemployment. And maybe you need to file as a new claim under the pandemic. That might be my suggestion, is go to the state one and file as a new claimant. It'll let you go through all that. It'll ask you if you filed and you've been denied. And it sounds like you have, but I don't know what's going on the other side of it. So unfortunately, you got to call the 800 number and just see. And I'll see if I can find out if there's problems now with the old system and the new system.
Jeff, do you want to give your contact information out again in case people
Sure.
want to get in touch with you specifically and in a more detailed form?
Sure. My phone number is 331-222-9529. You can also go to my website, jeffjacobsonlaw.com. It's got contact information there, and you can let me know about your problem, and if it's unique, I'll try to help.
Oh, fantastic. All right, let's see. It looks like some of the questions are slowing down right now. It looks like we've pretty much gotten to most of them. If you're watching this, it looks like there's quite a few people watching. You may still write in the comments section, and we'll have Jeff Jacobson get an answer to you as quick as possible. This is our time this week, 11:30 onward, to try to answer questions related to. Tell us what we're answering, Jeff. I mean, there's a lot of different things that we're looking at this week. So go over a couple of the themes that you think are going to be reoccurring throughout the week.
So we're probably going to have people filing for unemployment, answering, the certification is the big one, because we're getting new viewers all the time. When it asks how many days of the week you're unavailable, you're supposed to put down 0 if it's because of COVID-19, not 5. Put down 0, meaning you're available every day a week. For certification, every 2 weeks, you need to either go online or call in to certify. There's an option on the teleserve, the phone number, to create or change your PIN number. Otherwise, if you've forgotten your password, you need to call in and they'll reset your password. We unfortunately can't do that. I'm guessing we're going to hear a lot of people complaining about getting through on the phone lines, although they did add 100 more people to answer the phone. So hopefully that'll work much better. There's all sorts of problems people are having. I just anticipate the biggest is getting through when you make a mistake. The phone lines will probably be tied up, and it'll be interesting to see. So I've been preparing for this since 10 o'clock, so I don't know if people are now having problems going online since 10 o'clock. I don't know what the problem is. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on, and unemployment's at a record, and it's going to keep going up. And they're starting to say some of these jobs are going to be gone for good. Airlines are laying off people, and they said the number is going to be low for those that are going to be coming back. Restaurants. I was just reading there's a restaurant 50 years just closed down because they can't sustain this. So we're going to see numbers shooting way up. I don't know where the money's eventually going to come from. And so if you're an employer or no employers that are listening to this, you definitely want to look at the payroll protection program. If you're a sole proprietor, you also are entitled to the payroll protection program to pay yourself. So if you're a sole proprietor and you have no funds, you're not able to pay yourself, you have no income, I would apply as the payroll protection program with your bank. That'll help you out. I know they still have funds available. You'll need to most likely go to your bank because they seem to be only servicing their own customers. So hopefully that'll help some that are, having trouble and need the money, because unemployment may not be the only solution.
All right. David, it looks like you've joined again. I'm not sure if you want to come on camera and ask your question to Jeff. If you do, please give me a thumbs up like this so that I can see. And if you just want to listen, don't give me the thumbs up. And it looks like he's just listening to the programming, which I encourage you to do. However, always do ask your questions in the comment if you don't want to appear on camera, and we can answer them that way as well.
So someone asked about a question about furlough, put yes or no. If you have been furloughed, you definitely want to put yes. If you haven't been furloughed, and I don't know what the situation is, whether you've been furloughed, laid off, but figure out which ones fits best for you. I don't know that a lot of people have been furloughed. It's probably just stopped working.
All right. While you read and answer Steve's question, which just came up, I want to address kind of a procedural thing. Miley, it looks like you're trying to ask a question, but your device is not connected. Please make sure either your microphone or your camera is connected. And that's for all our guests who want to ask a question directly to Jeff Jacobson. But in the meantime, Steve does ask here, I'm a 1099 only carpenter, was able to get denied and then complete my federal 600. Then Saturday, I submitted all the vouchers. My question is, what is starting today? Does it apply to me?
So if he's a 1099, he shouldn't have received any benefits under unemployment. So today would have been the day for 1099s to apply to receive benefits. And I missed one of it. Is he saying he's receiving the 600 already?
Well, something else just popped up. He's from Indiana, and just seeing if that would make a difference. Was able to get denied, then complete the federal 600. Steve, so just clarify for that for us. Were you able to get the 600 or not? And while we wait for kind of a response to that.
So Steve, under the federal law, it doesn't make a difference on the state. The federal law for the PUA is for those that are not eligible for benefits. As a 1099, you should not have been eligible for benefits under the normal Unemployment Insurance Act. But if you're receiving benefits, no, he's clarified it now. So you're going to need to apply for the PUA in Indiana to receive the federal benefits, Steve. Otherwise, I anticipate you're going to get denied as a 1099 because you're not eligible for benefits under the federal law. You're not a W-2 wage earner. So I would definitely, figure out on Indiana how you apply for the PUA and apply, because you won't be entitled to anything otherwise. And also, if you're 1099, Steve, you may want to look in the payroll protection program in your state, because you may be entitled to benefits via that, which is 2.5 times your monthly income, and you have to use that to pay yourself. So it'll be 2.5 times whatever your monthly income is. So hopefully that helps you a little, Steve, and everyone that's in your situation.
Jeff, it looks like we are coming to the end of the questions. It looks like we've gone through most of the ones that came in on the Facebook group, which is the Illinois and Indiana Unemployment Guidance Group, as well as I think we have gone through and answered most of the questions in the comment. In case you're watching, just a quick reminder, we're going to be on 11:30 every day, Monday today through Friday, and we're going to make this a daily thing for as long as we can. Right, Jeff?
Right. Yeah, and you can try to call. You can go to the website, and they'll help you out. Sometimes yours is just a procedural question, not a legal one. And just as a caveat, remember that if you waited more than 30 days and haven't filed an appeal and don't agree with whatever decision there's been, you lose your right to appeal. So if there's any problems and you can't get it resolved, don't wait 30 days. I mean, obviously don't do it after a week. But if it's been a couple weeks and you can't get it resolved, you need to file an appeal to protect your rights.
I think that's very good advice. So we'll be returning again tomorrow at 11:30, where we'll continue this conversation and have more questions answered by Jeff. Please, again, just give your information out to people who may need it.
So it's the website is jeffjacobsonlaw.com, and you can always Google, and if you like the service we're giving, go ahead and give me 5 stars, whatever it is. You can also call me at 331-222-9529. We're trying to answer the questions. And then when we go to the Illinois and Indiana Unemployment Guidance website, I try to answer questions, especially unique ones, difficult ones. So we're doing that too.
Yeah, we effort to try to get as many questions as we can. It's a tough time for a lot of people, and by sharing this information and disseminating it, usually we have Sara Sadat here as well, who's helping to read the questions. She's otherwise engaged today, but we should have her at least a couple times this week, which obviously helps the process go smoother as well. So we will again continue this conversation 11:30. If you have any questions in the meantime, do post them at the Illinois and Indiana Unemployment Guidance Group, and we look forward to talking to you then. And
so I just was reading one of the questions on the person that received their letter for the phone interview after the date of the phone interview. Keep all your documentation, keep the envelope that's postmarked, keep the letter, because you may need that. And that's it for me, Raza.
That's it for me, Jeff. We will we'll see everyone back here tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. Talk to you then.
Okay. Bye, everyone.